More vault space coming to Destiny 2. What's going to happen to your current gear? A look at gear tiering in Armor 3.0. Prismatic changes in the Edge of Fate, Prophecy is now in Rite of the Nine, and much more. Welcome Guardians, let's take a look at the latest Destiny news. So this week in Destiny is a pretty big update. The first chunk of the article talks about the Edge of Fate impressions that are currently live. These are all the videos from creators that got to play the Edge of Fate early and got to share their experience. So there's links to all of those videos in the weekly update, and I'm sure you've seen most of them already. If you are interested in some Edge of Fate story secrets, MacDix allowed me to upload one of the cutscenes he got from the gameplay preview. So check out this video to see the new Aeonian civilization, secrets involving Kepler, and the new character Lodi. Next up, Bungie answers some of the community's questions. The first one is, will we get some more vault space? They say vault space is not changing in the Edge of Fate, but they do have additional vault space and quality of life features planned for Renegades later this year. Stay tuned for details. One of the biggest complaints I've seen around Reddit and in different streams is people speaking about their current gear. Is there really even a point to grind Rite of the Nine when we're just getting all these new tiers in Edge of Fate? Well, Bungie says your current gear is still very viable in the Edge of Fate, and you will surely use it in the near future when beginning the new expansion, and even in contest mode for the world's first race. At a high level, the new gear we introduce alongside gear tiering will offer new benefits once you start getting involved with certain activities. Armor will have spike gear stats and higher total numbers, as well as specific archetypes that will help you put together stronger builds. Same thing with weapons. The higher the tier, the more extra perks and enhancing options you'll have. They'll have more information about this in upcoming TWIDs and a full livestream dedicated to talking about gear. What new weapon archetypes are coming with the Edge of Fate? They say you've noticed the new spread shot hand cannon. Tune into our next developer streams to learn more about the many weapons coming with the Edge of Fate, as well as their new perks. Is the Director going away? We are focusing on the portal as the main hub for the Edge of Fate, but the Director is not going away. Players will still be able to access activities and locations through it, and Kepler can be accessed through the portal. So a bunch of people who had their previews noted that Kepler did not appear on the Director destination screen. So Bungie didn't straight up confirm it's going to be there in this either, so that makes us believe that they're not going to update the Director going forward, but it'll still be there if you wish to navigate through the menus. And lastly here, what are unstable cores? Unstable cores is a new currency we are introducing with the Edge of Fate. They will be earned from dismantling high-level gear, among other sources, and will reset at the start of each 6-month season. They plan to answer all questions regarding the economy changes in a future TWID. Let's now talk about gear tiering in Exotic Armor 3.0. Instead of repeating the exact words of some of the videos released over the last couple of days, Bungie wants to focus on some specific details about ability stats, gear tiering, and how your collection of exotic armor pieces is being brought forward. A big chunk of this is armor stats getting a complete overhaul, and some new stats have even been created to expand upon your build crafting opportunities. So when you first log into the Edge of Fate, you'll notice your armor stats have changed. So what has become of your old stats? Well, mobility is now weapons, resilience is health, recovery is class, strength is melee, discipline is grenade, and intellect is super. So what are these new stats and what do they do? Health 1 to 100 grants 0 to 70 healing when picking up an orb of power, grants 0 to 10% flinch resistance. From 100 to 200, Shields start recharging 0 to 25% more quickly and take 0 to 50% less time to fully recharge. 0 to 20 additional shield capacity versus combatants. For melee, from 1 to 100, it improves the base cooldown of your melee ability. Improves the amount of melee energy gained from external sources and any melee regeneration speed scalars from other sources. From the 100 to 200 point marks of your armor sets, 0 to 30% increased melee ability damage, and this includes powered, unpowered, and glaive melees. Grenade is about the base cooldown of your grenade's ability. It improves the amount of grenade energy gained from external sources and any grenade regeneration speed scalars from other sources. From 100 to 200, you get 0 to 65% increased grenade ability damage. The super is the old intellect. It improves your super energy gained from damaging targets. It does not change the base cooldown time of your super. From 100 to 200, you get 0 to 45% increased super ability damage. The class stat will improve the base cooldown of your class ability. From 100 to 200 grants a 0 to 40 HP overshield, 0 to 10 in PvP on casting your class ability. The duration is determined by the ability used. For example, dodge and thruster last 5 seconds, and barricade and rift last 10. And lastly, we have the weapon stat. Improves weapon reload and handling speeds. Improves damage versus minor and major combatants. From 100 to 200 grants a chance for ammo bricks produced to contain more ammo than normal. And improves damage versus boss combatants and guardians. 0 to 15 for primary and special, 0 to 10% for heavy. Bonus weapon damage versus players 0 to 6. For these stats going away with the new system, they have set them to a fixed value for all players. So like mobility is fixed now to what 30 once was for Titans and Warlocks and 40 for Hunters. Additionally, there are new leg armor mods to adjust this higher. Resilience is fixed to what was 100, and recovery is fixed to around what 60 once was. So I'm not sure how players are going to feel about that. I know, for example, maybe Hunters love to spec into mobility and move faster around the battlefield, and it now seems all Guardians are kind of around the same pace. As part of this major rework, they have tuned all the base recharge rates of abilities to better align with the way the new stats work. At low stat investment 0 to 30, your abilities will be recharging slower than they used to, but at high investment 70 to 100, they will be recharging faster. Any chunk energy gains, think demolitionist-like perks that provide a direct amount, and any energy recharge scalars like Crown of Tempest will also be scaled by your stat investment. What about exotics and how they work with Armor 3.0? Well, with the release of the Edge of Fate, Bungie will be updating all new drops of existing exotics to use the new Armor 3.0 systems, reducing the amount of time it'll take to get armor with the stats you want. In addition, they're told Ada 1 gave reproducing exotics armor a try. The supply might be limited, but most Guardians should be able to focus their choice of any previously acquired exotics with some influence over their stats. Ada's exotic focusing will only be available in the Year of Prophecy. As for exotic class items, they'll be updating these items directly with stats based on the perks they have on them. If you already have perk combinations you like, keep them. If you're still hunting, feel free to visit the Pale Heart now and get ready for the Edge of Fate. And don't forget, Xur sometimes brings some exotic class items too. Next up, Prismatic and the Edge of Fate, another big topic. During their hands-on preview for the Edge of Fate, they shared an early look at Prismatic tuning for the next big update. This tuning pass reduced the number of fragments that could be placed on various aspects, as they found the Prismatic subclasses have been a bit hot since release. Certain Prismatic builds have increased damage output and survivability to a point where some challenges can feel trivial. and bringing everything up to Prismatic's level wouldn't help to solve this issue in a healthy manner. They see this conversation about power creep frequently, which is why they take the time to tune things up or down during release timelines. While they're still planning an overall tuning pass for Prismatic at a future date, featuring buffs alongside other changes, they'll be changing their approach to the Edge of Fate a bit in response to the community's feedback. So prismatic aspects that were originally planned to be reduced to 1 fragment slot will remain at 2. They feel this is a good middle ground where some of the more potent aspects are being tuned down, but not too much. Of course, they'll be playtesting this change internally before the Edge of Fate's launch. Here is a list of the aspects per class and planned changes to fragment slots. For Prismatic Titans, Consecration from 3 to 2, reverted from 1. Knockout remains at 2. For Hunter, Stylish Executioner remains at 2. Ascension and Winter's Shroud also at 2. And for Prismatic Warlock, Feed the Void, Hellion, and Bleak Watcher all at 2. Prophecy is now the featured dungeon for the Rite of the Nine activity for the next 2 weeks. There are 2 quests to complete this week in exchange for hollow foil weapons, and another one is awaiting next week. Once we reach June 17th though, all dungeons will be unlocked in the Rite of the Nine, with the first week having increased rewards for all of them, and the following weeks having 1 featured dungeon with extra loot. Here is the entire calendar. Adept weapons will be going away in favor of the new tier gearing system. Before that happens though, they want to be crystal clear on where you can get these Adept weapons from Trials and Nightfalls before they disappear. So here is the calendar for Nightfalls and Trials. Bungie is celebrating Pride Month with some new shaders. There's also emblems and a pin available. Some of these shaders like this one definitely look pretty unique. But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for this week in Destiny for June 5th. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.